and they complain and do nothing but. We don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
80,000 Somali Americans called Minnesota home. Soon upwards of 100 ICE agents could be targeting them living here. Many understandably nervous, but according to census data, almost 58% of Somalis living in Minnesota were born in the U.S.
Somali.
The Somali.
The Somali.
The Somali.
The Somali.
Is Somalia.
The Somali.
In just 2 weeks, one American community became the center of a national political storm. Harsh words, fear on the streets, a congresswoman under fire. This is the story of Ilhan Omar, Minnesota's Somali community, and Donald Trump. For years, Minnesota has been home to the largest Somali community in the United States. They are students, truck drivers, nurses, business owners, and American citizens. But in the last 2 weeks, that community has found itself directly targeted in national politics, as President Donald Trump renewed attacks tied to immigration, fraud investigations, and Minnesota leadership. At the center of it all, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. The spark came from ongoing federal investigations into large-scale fraud cases in Minnesota, some dating back to pandemic-era aid programs. Trump and his allies began linking these fraud cases to Minnesota's leadership and then, controversially, to Somali communities more broadly. Here's the key issue. The investigations focus on specific individuals and organizations, but the rhetoric quickly expanded to entire communities. That shift from cases to communities is where the controversy exploded. Over the past 2 weeks, Trump made repeated public remarks about Somali immigrants in Minnesota.
And we had a meeting, and I said, why is it we only take people from whole countries, right? But we always take people from Somalia, places that are a disaster, right? Filthy, dirty, disgusting, ridden with crime. The only thing they're good at is going after ships.
Critics say the language painted an entire group as suspicious, blurred the line between legal enforcement and identity-fueled fear rather than facts. Supporters argue Trump is highlighting government failures, demanding accountability using tough language to push enforcement. But regardless of intent, the impact was immediate. Community leaders reported increased fear of racial profiling, families avoiding public places, legal residents carrying documents out of fear. Words spoken on a national stage quickly became felt on local streets. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar did not stay silent. Her message was clear. You cannot fight fraud by attacking an entire community. Omar emphasized 3 key points. Fraud must be prosecuted fully, and fairly collective blame is dangerous.
This is clearly racial profiling, ethnic profiling, and it's to intimidate us. But Somalis are resilient. We've been through a lot. We have overcome a lot, and we're not easily intimidated or easily bullied. We know what our rights are. The president gets upset that I tell him that he needs to abide by the Constitution. Is because that Constitution means a lot to us. We're people who've experienced what it means to have rights stripped from you. So we cling on to the fact that we are protected by the Constitution.
Most Somali Americans are lawful citizens contributing to the economy. She warned that political language can create a climate of fear, especially when combined with federal enforcement actions. In one of the most personal moments of the controversy, Omar publicly stated that a member of her own family was stopped during enforcement operations, which she described as racial profiling. Authorities disputed her account, but the story intensified national attention. On the ground in Minnesota, Somali Americans expressed confusion and fear. Many asked, are we being targeted for who we are? Will citizenship protect us? Why are crimes by individuals being tied to our identity? Community elders, youth leaders, and business owners all echoed the same concern. Investigate crimes, but don't criminalize identity. At the same time, some residents supported tougher enforcement, saying corruption hurts everyone, including immigrant communities. This is what made the moment so tense, 2 truths colliding at once. Minnesota state leaders publicly rejected Trump's language. Civil rights groups called for oversight. National media amplified the clash. Even internationally, officials from Somalia responded, condemning insults toward Somali people abroad. What began as a domestic political attack quickly became a civil rights debate and immigration policy test. A warning about political language: this story is no longer just about Ilhan Omar, Donald Trump, or Minnesota. It's about how nations enforce the law without losing their values. Can a country fight fraud aggressively without turning neighbors into suspects? Can leaders win politically without dividing communities? History shows us words don't stay in speeches. They travel into real lives. This debate isn't over, and its consequences will last longer than 2 weeks. If you believe in justice without prejudice, truth without fear, and leadership with responsibility, like, subscribe, and share this story. Because understanding comes before judgment. See you in the next video.